This is a great opportunity to showcase how to trim a haircut like this. So we're going to keep a little bit of length, and what I want to do is just kind of go through the entire haircut, keep the layers, but really explain step by step. This is going to be a step-by-step video, so please watch along. But really what I want to do is explain kind of the procedure that I do in order for someone to kind of keep a little bit of longer hair, but still trim it at the same time. And I know a lot of guys want to have haircuts like this. I mean, even his hair now looks good, but it could use some work, it could use some shaping up, and that's what we're going to focus on today. This is water and rubbing alcohol to kill all the germs. No. Everyone, this is just water and a little vodka, because college guys like to, party a little bit. So, all right. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm just, he washed his hair previously, so before he came in, so it's still pretty damp. So all I'm pretty much looking to do is just add some more moisture to this, and you want to make sure that the hair is pretty much evenly saturated with water. And also, I'm spraying my 25 spray in just to kind of keep the hair a little more damp. All right, and this is a great cutting tool when you're, and it's also my best-selling pre-styling product. So what I'm doing right now is he has pretty much almost like a center parting right into here. So we're going to work off the center part, and I'm going to just take a look. And every time I cut someone's hair, and actually I could tell you had a pretty decent haircut before. Usually I'm able to look at someone's hair and instantly be like, yo, somebody botched it. But this actually looks pretty good, even though it's grown out quite a bit. Right now, I'm basically just focused on setting up the sectioning, which is what I always do. And I'm working off the center. And then, let's turn this way here. What I'm going to do is, you find the high point of the head right here, which is the flattest part of the head. And then you create a section, which usually is right around behind the ear area, right into here. And all this is doing is just separating the front from the back and giving you a clean slate on where you need to be cutting, which is very, very technical. And if you're just somebody watching this who's just like, thinks, this is fun to watch and you want to maybe tell your stylist, your barber, that's awesome. But if you're a professional, it's very important to kind of map out your haircuts. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start right in the back, and depending on the hair length, let's turn this way and sometimes the models have a tendency to slouch, and that's why I have the electric shock on them. He has the bracelet on, so if he moves, you're going to get the shock, all right? Yeah. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start off in the nape area. So this is basically going to be the foundation of where the entire haircut is going to kind of be based off of down and through here. And I think even though the length is good, it could use some cleaning up. So we're going to take maybe about an inch or so off right there at the back here, and all I'm doing is just cutting it straight across and just tidying up some of that length so it's not too kind of straggly. And this always seems to be the area that gets kind of straggly and starts to wing out, and most people hate while they're growing their hair out because it just becomes out of control and it makes it look a little bit more on the messier side. So that's why it's really important to make sure that if you are growing your hair and you do want to keep it longer, that you keep the bottom area fairly neat so it doesn't get out of control. So really, I know this is seems like a very complicated haircut, but it's not. It can be, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just creating the outline, right? The base or the foundation of the haircut. And that's what's really important when cutting is the outline. So if you are going to your stylist or your barber or whatever, this is where you tell them, this is where I want my hair as far as the length goes, all right? This is really the most important part of the whole thing. So I'm combing this all down in the back now, and there's really not much hair left to cut because everything now is, the top layers are coming down to that base point right in through here. And what we've done, head up, there we go. What we've done is we've created a much neater kind of baseline throughout the neck area. Now it's time to connect this part into here. So let's turn a little more towards the camera right there. And all we're gonna really do is comb this straight down, and I'm going to see where the hair needs to be connected, and there it is right there. So all I'm doing now is creating something that's gonna flow right into this. And by doing this, it just keeps the hair very consistent, and it has a much nicer flow to it. This is where everybody gets that nice kind of sweeping flow, is through this part right in through here, because again, we're creating that foundation. So let's turn this way, and then as we move towards the very, very front, that's where, again, we have control on how short or how long we're going to take this. So some of his ends here, and it's clear from not having a haircut in quite some time, they're a little bit kind of frayed, and they need to be thickened up a little bit. So the ends here, right, as you can see here, it's very, very common, but those need to come right off, and that's what we're doing. So we're creating kind of like a shorter or almost balanced length in through here to work in through this. So it has a fully nice flow to it. And even by combing the hair this way, you can see everything just literally goes back perfectly now, right? So I'm gonna do the same exact thing on the other side. Let's just turn this way a little bit. So time to connect right in through here. And sometimes, depending on, again, if you're a barber or a hairstylist, this is where you may see some areas where there could be some gaps, or we call them holes, if the hair isn't really layered properly. And that is because it's just not cut right. So sometimes you have to actually connect those and fill those gaps in, and the way you do that is by, believe it or not, cutting more hair. And that is what I'm doing, is I'm making sure that this entire, let's just turn this way more towards me, perfect, that this entire area is really, really solid, like it's a solid foundation. So you can't, everyone who's watching, you can't really see this, but off camera, there's like 6 hot girls here, and Eric has been flirting with them the whole time. It's ridiculous, all right? You're not, please, be professional. No. But yes, Eric is, you were voted what, like most handsome guy at Rutgers or something last year, was it? Yeah.
I took second place. But
second place, all right, well, you gotta find the guy who won first place and get rid of him.
I already did.
Oh, you did already?
Getting first place this year.
All right, so let's look right towards the camera. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm just going to make sure that we're balanced, and of course, uneven Steven has come to the rescue, and I'm uneven. So I gotta go a little bit shorter on this side. And don't be like freaked out if one side, it could be just from maybe the previous haircut. You know, I have a tendency to just cut, and sometimes things are just off balance from before. Not a problem at all. So that's when you just go in and even it out, and then we're good to go. So as you can see, the very, very front is the longest point, but it's still a little bit long in the middle here. So you just want to take off that little bit right there. You do not ever, 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 ever want to just take your scissors and just hack it straight across, because it's not going to work out well, trust me. It's just going to be really, really uneven, and I have seen people do that. So if you're getting your hair cut and your barber or your stylist, you know, just takes the shears, and it's like, to you, in your mind, you're going, okay, that seems like a little bit short, like get up out of the chair and run. Have you ever had a bad haircut before?
Yeah.
You have, huh?
The last haircut I had was terrible.
Really? And I was complimenting it, saying it grew out so well, and you're saying it's the best haircut, or worst haircut you ever had. It was that bad, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
They cut it way too short. They didn't like blend it right at all.
I was gonna say, you said like faded on the sides and a 6 on top. It's like, that's a pretty big difference, you know?
Yeah. But I would like part in the front, next to the side like that.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, we've all had bad haircuts, including me. I had a full head of hair like yours, and the last haircut, this is what happened. This is the result. My head, like this. But anyway, so let's take a section right here, and this is where the layering is going to come into play. So you don't ever want to cut this too short, because if you cut this part too short, it's just going to look horrible, especially considering we've got this front here. I am going to take some length off of here, but what we need to do is kind of match this so that it's usually a bit shorter in the front and goes gradually longer to the back. So what I'm looking to do here is literally just to kind of clean up those dead ends. So we're cutting maybe about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch off. And what I'm going to do next is just follow that same kind of pattern throughout the entire back of the head. And I'm doing that by bringing the hair straight up, which keeps me very, very consistent, right? And if you're a professional, this is a great method, where right now we've got this whole section done and it's perfectly even. Now all we have to do is just blend everything in. So I'm going to switch to cutting vertically, where I'm pulling the hair out from the head. And here's where you see all the dead ends and what needs to be blended into the top here. So I'm pulling the hair straight out, and I'm going to work around the head shape. I'm going to work around the head shape, and it's pretty simple, to be honest with you. It's a pretty simple process. The back is done, and it's time to connect the back part into the top. So what I like to do is comb the hair straight up, and you can then see, let's turn a little more sideways so people get a good angle right there. So what you're going to do is you're going to see where the shorter hair is, and then bam, right into that longer hair right there. And I'm just cutting this to blend it in. I'm not looking to do anything else. I'm literally trying to just cut this to blend it. What I'm literally doing is just combing this all back and cutting this to make sure it's perfectly even. And the longer hair will be very, very obvious, you know, of like what needs to be cut. This is, I know a lot of you who watch my videos are always trying to find out things of, you know, what do I tell my barber? What do I tell my stylist? Chances are a hairstylist or a barber watching this whole video is slim, but what you can do is you can mention little things like, you know, just leave the length, just skim the ends. I'm trying to grow it long. You know, if a lot of times if you mention to the professional like, hey, I'm trying to grow it, you know, take maybe like 1 inch off, just shape it up, then that should be enough, right? But for you to have to break, I've said in past videos, it's not your job as the client to like teach a barber or a stylist how to cut hair. You know, it's not your, you should be going in and having that professional really take control and giving you a good result. So watching these videos are helpful in certain areas to understand maybe what happened or what went wrong. You know, I've had a lot of people comment on my videos like, I wish my stylist spent as much time as Steven, or I wish my, like a lot of my female audience, they're like, I wish my hairstylist, my male hairstylist was as hot as you. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I mean, I can't really do, you know, nothing I can do about it. Anyway, so, but yeah, so this is just really as good reference so that you may understand what's going on with your hair or why it's not, you know, laying properly. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty standard kind of layered haircut, to be honest with you. So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting the corners here, and the corners here, what that does is it's kind of the transition point that goes from the top to the bottom. And again, it's just following the head shape. I'm pulling the hair straight out from the head, and I'm just connecting everything together. It's all about making sure that connection is there and that flow. So Eric, are you a TikToker, man, by any chance?
No.
You're not? You could be like an instant Instagram, TikTok heartthrob overnight.
Yeah, I've been told to become an e-boy a couple of times.
If you want to become an e-boy, then we have to change up the look completely.
No, it's okay.
There, dude. Now you're an e-boy. He's a total e-boy right now, just from that. For this type of look, your hands will be the best styling tool because it's really just raking, a lot of raking motion because it's going to bring out the layers, and scrunching and stuff like that to really just kind of bring out the texture. Tell me Eric does not resemble Ian. They're like, look at that, man, look at it. It's crazy. I knew it. I have an eye for this type of stuff. All right, so we've got the old school Harry Styles right here. The Harry Styles sweep. Harry Styles, right? It's just temporary, it's just temporary. Look at his smile, he loves it. Do you like it, Eric? Looks good, right? You can see it in the monitor. So let's break down exactly what I did. Again, I created my outline first throughout the nape area. So for all those who are kind of curious, keep spinning. This is how long it is right here. It's not like down here or way up short. It's got to have some sort of length to it. And then I continued that shape up and through the corners here, connected it throughout the front. So when you pull this down, it goes probably just about to the middle of the ear. And then the front here, again, it's angled going a bit shorter, but the front comes down just to like the tip of the nose. But because the center parting, when you brush it back, it's a little bit shorter. Then I created the layers throughout the entire back. The top is probably about, I'd say, 4 to 4 inches long, 4.5 inches long on top. Same thing, same consistent length throughout the entire top here. And what's key to this is that it's all balanced, which means that even though it looks really nice now, we've got these cool flips and stuff like that, even if you wanted to kind of mess it up, or the hair kind of in the face a little bit, something like this, you could still do that and it still looks good, you know what I mean? Or you can just kind of brush everything back and have that kind of natural flow. The hair is always gonna fall just like this because of the way we cut it, right? This haircut can really never look bad. That's what's awesome about it. Well, pat on my back anyway. No, but this haircut really can't look bad because it's a great balanced layered shape. The key again for something like this is tidal wave, because you need some sort of support and some sort of hold, and this provides just the amount of that kind of sea salt grit and hold that's perfect for this look. He could just wake up, have it, air dry, and it's still gonna look good. So yeah, dude, I think you're good.